Welcome back to AM Agenda, and with me here in the Canberra studio, Michael Johnson, Liberal MP. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Kieran.
And in Sydney, Labor MP Craig Thomson. Craig, great to see you as well. Can I start with you? You've seen the news poll today of such a positive result for Labor. Is it fair to say, though, that the real test will come next year when the unemployment figure is expected to rise and the full impact is expected to be felt of the financial crisis?
Well, look, Kieran, we're not so concerned and look at polls and their results. Polls go up and down. I think what the Australian public is more interested in is strong leadership and a united team, and certainly that's what the Rudd government's been delivering and in spades. And you compare it to poor old Michael's side at the moment. I mean, they're more like an episode out of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, with people going in all sorts of directions, and I think that is what's really having an impact.
But surely, Craig, the $10 billion being handed out in people's pockets over the next few weeks, it's not going to hurt.
Well, look, it's a targeted scheme. It's there to try and stimulate the economy, and the Treasury is saying that it'll have a 1% effect in terms of GDP growth, and that's really significant in terms of staving off us going into a situation where growth goes into a negative situation. So it's very important. It's targeted. It's going to the people who've been doing it really tough. You know, pensioners, carers, families. So it's hitting the right mark.
Michael, is it fair to say that in times of crisis that people in a leadership position are always bolstered by times of crisis?
Look, I think that's a fair assumption to make. I think what Craig's not saying, of course, is that Kevin Rudd's just spent $10.4 billion, and I'm sure that if Craig spent that money, he himself would be around the 70% mark in his electorate. Look, the times are tough. The times are tough for the opposition, but we'll have to see how we go next year and the year ahead. And so,
but to be honest, at the moment, to finish the year, 10 weeks after you replaced your last leader, it's not good for morale, is it? When you've got this sort of number, is it?
Well, I mean, Malcolm's only been the leader for 10 weeks. There is only one poll that counts, and that is on election day. I think when people get to understand who he is and the policies and the ideas we've got, it'll be much more competitive than the numbers show today.
And do you think that next year, once the full impact of this financial storm is felt here, that the coalition will fare better?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no one in the parliament whose credentials on the economic side are superior than Malcolm Turnbull. And I don't think that the challenges of the crisis have washed through. We've got a lag time. Next year is going to be tough. If unemployment goes up, the government will really know that it's got a battle on its hands.
In terms of the coalition side of things, there have been divisions. Certainly in the Senate last week. Has that hurt you at all, with the Nationals and a couple of Liberals voting against the official line?
Look, it's obviously preferable that didn't happen, and I think that Malcolm understands the significance of the issue for those senators. Let me just say that this couldn't happen on the Labor side, because if Craig tried to cross the floor, he'd be expelled from the ALP. So we've got this robust, flavour of our side of politics, and it happens from time to time. But we're determined. We're absolutely determined that we're going to be unified, and we're going to give Craig and his colleagues a real run for their money.
Craig Thomson, in terms of the situation that we're in, of course it is a crisis. It's often said that leaders, as I mentioned to Michael before,